The addition method is that we either add two equations term by term, or subtract one equation from another term by term. And in such addition or subtraction, we need to get rid of one variable either from x or from y. Let's add these two equations together term by term. Positive 2y and negative 2y will cancel out. We do not have a numerical coefficient in front of x. We consider this coefficient to be equal to 1. Add 1x and 1x getting 2x, and on the right side of the equation we add 10 to 6. In the equation, on the right and on the left side, we have only by one term. Therefore 2 can be moved to the denominator in the right part. And we get the value for x. This transfer of 2 is equal to the multiplication of each term of the equation by the same number. With this multiplication, the equation does not change. Of course, the number should not be 0. Now we substitute this value for x in any of the equations. In order not to deal with the minus sign, it seems to me that it will be easier to substitute the 8 in the second equation. I move the 8 to the right side of the equation, and the sign in front of the 8, I change to the opposite. In the left side there was no sign, we consider it as a plus. In the right side there will be a minus. I also move 2 and get the value for y. You can substitute these two values instead of y and x in our equations, and make sure that the equations are correct. I suggest you to first try to solve this system of equations yourself. I give you a hint. Here equations must be multiplied by a number. Each member of the first equation I multiply by 2. Each member of the second equation I multiply by 3. I multiply the numbers in the first equation and in the second equation. I did this in order to get the same numerical coefficient in front of x in two equations. Now I will subtract from each term of the first equation the terms of the second equation. 12x and 12x will cancel out. I subtract 9 from 10 and 12 from 0. Of course, you don't have to write down 1. The value for y can be substituted either in the first or second equation. In the second equation in front of y, the coefficient is 3. 3 is less than 5, so I substitute negative 12 in the second equation. I multiply 3 and negative 12, getting a negative number. And I transfer negative 36 to the right part of equation. I will change the sign before 36 to the opposite. I add up the numbers. Since both on the right and on the left in the equation I have only one term of each, I will move the 4 to the denominator of the right side. And I get a value for x. You can substitute two of these values in the equation system, and make sure that the equations are correct. Write something in the comments, subscribe to the channel. Bye everyone.